everyone, I love tag videos. I love them. If I could do a whole month of tag videos, I totally would. The tag I'm doing today, as evidenced by the title above my head, is the eyeshadow palette tag that was created by Allie Glines and Samantha March. I have watched both of those videos. They are linked down below. If you are not watching either of these very talented young women, don't be thrown off. If you're like my age, by their age, they are very knowledgeable about what they're talking about. And I just adore Allie. I think she's just adorable. And I love her videos. I can relate to her taste in makeup, like how she likes to put it on. I have printed out the questions and my answers, and I, being the total non-rule follower that I am, I actually am in real life a huge rule follower. Makes my kids nuts. I've added an extra question of my own at the end. Alrighty, the first question is, what is your newest palette? This is kind of tricky. Technically, just today, I ordered online at Ulta a Buxom Create Your Own palette and then went to the store to pick it up. That's a whole other discussion. We can talk about in stories or on a live if you'd like. Like, what's it like to go out into the world? It's weird. I'll just sum it up real quick. It's like living in a science fiction movie. Kind of want to just keep ordering stuff online and pretending everything's normal so I don't have to go in stores. So technically, this is the palette. It is a case, and then you can put up to 6 shadows. And so I've made my custom palette, and I made you a video on this just showing you how I did it, and it's what I'm wearing. But technically, is it a palette? I put it together. So you want to get real technical, and a like pre-made, picked out for you palette that came together. I ordered them together from Beautylish. 2 of the Natasha Denona mini palettes. This one is the Glam palette, and this one is the Mini Star palette. The Mini Glam is just, you know, neutral, very easy to wear tones. I wore it yesterday. I'm in love with it. I have yet to dip into the Mini Star, but very similar, just a couple extra pops. And I will say, for those of you old MAC fans, this greenish one down here, check this out. Remind you of anything? Dare I say MAC Club? Remember that from the old YouTube days? Anyway, so those are technically my 2 newest. They just arrived and I love them. And now I need the Mini Nude to round it all out. Oldest is this. I've showed this before. Where did it go? It is the Stila Pro Artist Palette No. 1. Most definitely no longer available. Oh, Stila, why have you forsaken me? Why did you stop making all these great palettes? Remember in the light palettes? Oh, beautiful. If you really want to get a laugh, I did a tutorial using this palette in February 2011, and I will put the link there and in the description box. It is painful to watch, and I look very different. My face was very, I feel like very round. I don't know. It's over 9 years ago. I feel like I look different. I don't know. I don't use it, but I still have it. And this shade, which is the most used shade, it's actually Kitten. You can still get that one in a single and in other Stila things. Most expensive would have to be these 2 Tom Ford palettes. The first one I bought was Coco Mirage, which of course they've discontinued because I like it. I've heard there's a new one that's very similar. This looks very boring, and it kind of is, but when you pay over $80 for a palette, you'll want it to be something you're going to use all the time. They're beautiful. The formula is like nothing I've ever, I mean, there's a reason, sort of, why they're this expensive. And then the other one I bought was the Honeymoon palette, which, to be fair, kind of forgot I had. I need to pull it out. I do think of this as more of a fall palette with these kind of cranberry tones, but there are no rules. Most affordable. All right, I checked this out, and it's not going to be the answer everybody expects it to be. It is, in fact, the Wet n Wild Walking on Eggshells palette. First of all, it is 4 shades now in the new and improved version. As of right now, I'm filming this on Sunday, Memorial Day weekend. This little guy is $2.99, cheaper than those little elf ones that will be coming soon. So that's cheapest, haha. Not cheapest, most affordable. And honestly, most wearable between this and the elf one, because I don't think the elf ones are standalone palettes. Best everyday palette. Currently, it would have to be the Milani Bold Obsessions palette. I think if you are going on a vacation and you could only take one palette, it would have to be this one because It has an option for everything you can think of, whether you want a dark smoky eye, something with a little richer, warmer color, an everyday neutral eye. Like, the combinations are endless with this, so this would be the one. Most colorful. This is a funny story. So I had a sponsored video all set to go with Walmart, and it was due to go up the Friday of the first day of lockdown. And Walmart said, maybe we should hold off doing sponsored videos while we figure out what's going on in the world. I literally was told 12 hours before going live that it's a no-go. So there's a video sitting there just like ready to go. The funny thing, I mean, it's literally loaded and listed as unlisted, and all I have to do is hit publish and we could all see it. The problem is, one, obviously I shot it as a sponsored video and it's not sponsored anymore. I guess I could cut that part out. The second thing, which is really kind of funny, I really truly believe that everything works out for a reason. I really didn't love the finished look that I used with this palette. So this does give me an opportunity to reshoot the video. Nothing would change, except I wouldn't say it was sponsored, because it wouldn't be, and I would change some of the shadows I used. But the palette I'm talking about is this palette by Profusion. It is the Festival palette, and look at that. I mean, there's some serious color in this palette. And if you're afraid of color, that's okay, because you just stick to the 2 outside columns and you're good. But if you really want to go nuts, there's some crazy stuff going on in the middle. So it's like a rainbow. So cool. Also incredibly affordable. Really good shadows. Smallest. All right, here we go. Everybody's gonna say this. They are the e.l.f. bite-sized palettes. I have 4 of them. They're okay. I mean, like I said, I don't think they're standalone really palettes. I can do a lot with these 2. One is cream and sugar, and this one is truffles. I like these 2. You could probably do a standalone look with this one too, actually, the rose water one. Because they're so tiny though, I mean, you can take all of them and just, I mean, they're tiny. So I just don't know why e.l.f. didn't make them a little more, like, why couldn't you add just 1 more shade in each of these? Like, they're all missing just 1 shade to make it a perfect standalone palette. Biggest palette. Biggest in that it's physically the largest. It has to be the Jaclyn Hill palette, her collaboration with Morphe, and think what you will about Jaclyn Hill, but this was a pretty darn good palette. But because it is so freaking huge, I never use it. It's just overwhelming. And there is a lot of color overlap, especially in this top row. But it's really pretty. It just doesn't get used enough. I think a lot of these more budget-friendly brands come out with these huge palettes as a way for people who want to stretch their budget to have a lot of options in one go. But I honestly think it would be better to just have a very carefully chosen smaller one at a lower, I don't know. I'm not in this business, I just buy it. Best memory. There are a few, but I think it would have to be this guy. So this is the Tom Ford Golden Mink palette. And this is a special palette for a variety of reasons. One, it's my first like real luxury, high-end, I don't know if it was my first, but it was my first Tom Ford, which is, it's a lot. And it was a gift. It was given to me by Jamie Greenberg, who's known as Jamie Makeup. I think it's just Jamie Makeup now here on YouTube and on Instagram. She is a celebrity makeup artist. You might know her from doing Kaylee Cuoco's makeup and a variety of other people's. I flew out to LA, I don't even know when it was, like 6 or 7 years ago now at least. Michael had a work trip and I was able to go with him. We stayed at the Beverly Hilton where they filmed the Golden Globes. Jamie came to my hotel room and she did a whole celebrity makeup thing on my face. I felt like a princess. If I can find the video, it's on her channel, I'll put it down below. That whole trip was insane. I got to visit a bunch of like Real Housewives of Beverly Hills places. We had dinner at Villa Blanca. I went to Kyle's store. And then when we went to dinner at Mr. Chow, which is incredible. Me and Michael, not us, Michael and I, not Jamie. Anyway, as we were leaving, waiting for the valet to bring our car around, there were a bunch of paparazzi taking pictures of a Bravo celebrity. She was on Shaws of Sunset, the Lily with the lashes and the, like, they call her, I think, Persian Barbie. Anyway, she had just gotten engaged and she was pulling up with her fiance, which I have to say, in his rented McLaren. They were all going nuts over the car, but I pointed out to the paparazzi after they when in the restaurant that it had the rental sticker on it. Anyway, so don't believe everything you see in Hollywood. Wasn't their actual car. Anyway, the funny part about all that is the next morning when we were waiting at the airport to get on the plane super early in the morning, I was getting a bunch of messages from subscribers in England saying, "You're in the Daily Mail." Because the paparazzi photos were published there and I'm in the background, clear as day. It's funny. So all of that is tied to this palette. I will always have this palette because it holds a lot of memories in these 4 little shadows. All right, worth the hype. There are a few, but this is the one I remember because I waited by the mailbox for this thing to arrive. It's the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. It's one of my all-time favorite palettes. It's just a neutral lover's dream, and it might have the all-time best lid color in here, this Luscious shade. Absolutely adore it. I do have lights on because it's about to thunderstorm, and so I don't know how well you can see some of this, but I'll try to insert some B-roll. I mean, it was hard to get your hands on this first thing. And now, obviously, no problem. But there was a lot of hype around this, the whole collection. And I still love it. And I think it's absolutely worth it because it's so user-friendly. Now, I had mentioned in a previous video that I was trying not to outwardly support Too Faced anymore. And there were a lot of questions. What do they do to you? Nothing. They do not even know who I am. It was because I really didn't like how the founder, some of his behavior online, the way his company treated Nikki Tutorials, just didn't sit right with me. But one of you messaged me and gave some really good, I don't want to call it criticism, insight, saying that a company is not one person and there are hundreds, if not thousands of people affected by the sale of that product. And who are you really hurting? So good point. Still going to talk about Too Faced then, because in this economy especially, I don't want to even remotely be responsible for somebody not having a job. Not worth the hype. Okay. Ooh, this is tough. You know I'm never afraid to share my opinions, but this one's gonna get me in some trouble, I think, or not, I don't know. I have 2. And the reason I have 2 is the one I'm probably gonna get in trouble over, I don't actually have. I gave it away. I gave it to Shane's girlfriend. And the other one I do have. So I thought, to be fair, I should include what I do have. So let's start with what I do have. Not worth the hype is this, and it's not even a palette, it's a shadow. It's the Burberry single eyeshadow in the shade Pale Barley. So if you are a fan of the British beauty YouTubers back in the day, this was like everybody's favorite shadow. And I had to have it. First of all, it's ridiculously expensive. It's hard to find in the States. And it's nothing. It's nothing. There's no, I don't get it. There's nothing to this. There's a million shades out there like this. It's sitting in a drawer and I always forget that it's there. Totally not worth the hype. It's a pretty little package, but really? Okay. More recently, what I did not feel is worth the hype because the internet kind of shut down over the release of this product was the Textured Neutrals palette from Tati. Nothing against Tati. It's awesome that she created her own company. I think that's fabulous and it's a nice product, but is it worth the coverage that it got from every YouTube channel, including mine? No. So still would like to see what she comes up with next because I would like to see a palette with similar formulas and a true neutral palette because I don't really feel like that was, it just pulled very warm on me and I didn't feel like it was very wearable. So, okay, on me. Favorite palette from a favorite brand. You should know by now that I love Wander Beauty. Without even planning it or thinking about it, I'm wearing Wander Beauty foundation, I'm wearing Wander Beauty concealer, and I'm wearing Wander Beauty mascara. It should go without saying that my favorite eyeshadow palette currently, or one of them, is from Wander Beauty, and it is their newest release. It's the Wondrous Escape, and it is stunning and beautiful and perfect for summer. And if you don't have this palette yet, I highly recommend that you grab it. It's just buttery and smooth and wonderful. I will say, to make it absolutely perfect, it would be nice to have a cream or ivory matte shade, but other than that, it's just amazing and really nice. If you want to pretend like you're going on vacation, wear this. Hence the word escape. Like escape your house in your mind. The last official question on the tag is most used palette. I technically have 2. It's hard to pick. The first one, I've hit pan on this one, and I rarely hit pan on a eyeshadow palette, is the CoverGirl True Naked Nudes. I love this palette. I still love this palette. I think they've repackaged it or come out with new packaging and maybe the colors are slightly different, but as far as an everyday neutral, easy palette, you can't get much better than this. And when I was traveling back in the day a lot, this always came with me. The other one though, I think might technically be more used, but I haven't used it in a long time, although I just got another one. It's from Sleek Makeup. It's the Storm palette, and I hit pan on, well, this one. This is one of the best crease shades in the world. I mean, it looks rough, but it's just such a beautiful palette. It is still available. I think I said that already. And the neutrals, the dark shades, in the early days of YouTube, just wore this to death. Thank you, Pixie Woo, for recommending this. Miss your tutorials. And then the question that I have decided to add is a palette you use but never talk about. And it's this guy. It's the Urban Decay Naked Reloaded. Now, I did a video on this saying don't get it, it's not worth the hype. And I still believe that. But there are some shades in here that I absolutely love and I wear all the time. I still don't think it's worth buying a $50-some palette for 2 or 3 shades. That was kind of my reasoning. And the shades that I use all the time, there's a pretty big dent in it, is Angel Fire, our Angel Fire, which is this beautiful, light, shimmery, champagne-y all over the lid color. And then I do the crease with Blur, which looks like nothing here, but it's like a soft, very light brown, and then kind of like make a little shimmer in the outer corner with Distilled, which is kind of a darker brown. Is it worth buying a whole palette for 3 shades? No. But since I have them, I really love that combination on my eye, and every time I wear that, I always get compliments. And I actually usually only wear Angel Fire and Blur. Very simple eye, but very pretty, glowy, kind of bronzy look. So those are the answers to my palette tag. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you make videos, you are tagged. If you don't make videos and you still want to answer the questions, please do so in the comments. Thank you so much to Allie and Samantha for coming up with this. This was a lot of fun. Hope you all are doing well, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.